Hey, Richest you Money Maniacs, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk about point of sale. What is your point of sale now, especially in the new normal? Let's get to it. Hey, Richest you Money Maniacs, Tom coming at you. Thanks for tuning in again. This video is going to be dedicated to a very interesting concept, the idea of point of sale. The point of sale is wherever you have money handed to you or wherever you give money for value or for service exchange. We talk a lot about money, we talk a lot about currency, we talk about the stock markets and insurance and all these different things, but all of those things are not possible without a point of sale. Even a point of sale for this video to you. This point of sale for me was you seeing the thumbnail and deciding to click on it and spend your time watching this video. Now, that's just one example of a point of sale. Another point of sale is when you go to a store and you give them your credit card or you give them cash and you actually buy something at a register. That's a point of sale. Sometimes if you're going through a drive-through, you're buying at a point of sale that's different. You didn't go inside, your point of sale is outside. But now with this new normal, with everybody practicing social distancing and the economy in upturn and the pandemic slowing everything down, now people's point of sale has completely shifted. Most folks, in fact, have no point of sale, which is why you're seeing so many businesses shut down, close temporarily, or even close permanently. Some owners, or I should say a lot of owners of small businesses across the entire country have just decided, you know what? I was close to retirement anyway, and I've got plenty of money. I'm done. All those employees, all those managers, all those suppliers are now out of business with that person. That particular small business is no longer on their register as I can count on them for cash flow. So let's talk about how point of sales have shifted because of what's occurring right now in the world. So one of the most obvious was a friend of mine who's a professional musician gives lessons, and he immediately had his store actually have to shift to start using online lesson services, online video conferencing services, so that they could continue giving lessons. Now, that's one store that actually adapted quickly. They went from live in-person lessons to remote viewing through video conferencing and doing lessons that way simply because they can't actually get together until the lockdown is lifted. So remember, this is just one example. So now these folks are getting their lessons remotely all the time. They may continue that way for quite some time just to be safe. So think about that in terms of what your industry is or what you do as a profession. Another really good example, especially in the music world, is the point of sale has changed for musicians completely. Now, granted, if someone is extremely famous and they have a big distribution, then people are still buying their CDs or their albums and their merch. Now, those are typical, and they're also buying their ticket sales. So those are traditional points of sale. But actually, some of the newer ones are on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, but especially on YouTube. The whole idea of a point of sale would be that if a musician, a famous musician, puts all of their videos up on YouTube and they only use YouTube, then their point of sale is now on YouTube and the advertising revenue that they generate from those videos. A good example of that is Weird Al Yankovic. He actually dropped his label, put all of his videos up on YouTube, and now only makes revenue from YouTube and any touring that he might do. Now, he might still have some residual checks coming in from older contracts and such that he has, but anything new that he does and anything that he does from this point out, he controls completely. Now, there's another idea. Is your product really still your product, or is it just advertising for your brand? I would suggest that you look into the idea of branding more than your product. Here's why. Because once you have a solid brand, You can sell any product and people will probably buy it simply because they trust you and they know you would only recommend quality goods. That's why the Richest You only recommends instruments and financial tools and financial teachers or other people who have more information than I do that I'm absolutely sure are right and I've used myself. These are all techniques that I share with you that are things that I use myself. So for instance, with music, it used to be that the song was the content. For movies and television, it used to be that the TV, the series or the film itself was the content. But it's not anymore. It's actually just the advertising for the brand. The real money is made in the branding that sells the merchandise and sells the licensing and sells all of the other different types of rights that surround a brand. Look at Marvel, look at Star Wars, look at Disney, anything Disney. The movies and the money that they make are nice, and it certainly helps pay back for the incredible expense it is to make a movie, but the fact of the matter is the movies really are just advertising for the new products that they're going to put out after the movie is over. So, and another good example of content actually being advertising and not actually being content are soap operas. And this happened way back in the 50s or 60s. Soap companies literally paid for television shows to be made so that they could put their ads on those television shows, the daytime dramas, because they knew that there were a lot of housewives home doing laundry, taking care of kids, cleaning the house, cooking, and just taking care of everything, right? And so they were watching TV during the day while they're doing their chores or while they're doing their other job. So then they knew that if they made it an interesting love triangle circle, some kind of romantic type story, that these ladies would tune in on a regular basis and, of course, subliminally see their advertising. Now, the difference now is you don't have just television as an outlet. You have the whole internet. And you have all these different choices and all these different channels that you can put stuff out on. In fact, the other challenge is that everybody's a content provider now. So almost nothing is special about a movie or a TV show that comes out anymore because everybody's providing content all day long. Just scroll through TikTok sometime. There are some amazing videos on there made by people who have nothing to do with big studios, nothing to do with entertainment companies. So think about what you do for a living. Think about how you sell it. Where does your point of sale happen? When does somebody give you a check? And then consider the idea that you may need to rethink how whether your product is really a product or if it's just content that sells to something else that you make money on. And here's what I mean. If you have a film or a video and you put it up on YouTube and you get millions of views, you make advertising dollars off of that. But that's not your only opportunity for making money. In the description of that video, you can have links to products that are in your video or that you use to help make the video that actually have affiliate codes on it that lead out to make you money on affiliate codes. When someone likes your video and they like the camera you used to get such a good quality video, they go down to the description and they see the link for this is the camera I used if you're interested. This is an affiliate link, just so you know, so I make money off of it. But you know what? They don't care. They were just glad that you actually showed them how that camera actually works and how well the image was, how good the image came out. And so they decide, well, I'm going to click on that link, and you know what? I like this guy's video and I like this person, so I'm going to give them credit for that. So that's just another example of the different streams of revenue that come from a brand, not just from one video or one song. So for a band, you would want to focus on your brand and making that known, not just the name of the song. For a film, you would want to focus on the main characters and the brand around those characters, the name of the story, not just that one story. You should write with the intention that you're going to build a series around it and build marketing around it and build merch around it. If you build houses, you should put out that you're going to build all kinds of new different houses and think about how can I change the point of sale? Instead of that, just the house being my content or being my product or my point of sale, maybe the brand is. Maybe I could have a brand that makes tools, that provides replacement windows, that provides services to maintain your home, to all kinds of different things. So whatever industry you're in, because of what's occurring in the world, especially with social distancing, and be sure this is not the first pandemic that's going to come along. The fact of the matter is that now that the governments know that they can get away with locking everybody down, they're going to do it again every chance they get, because every time they do it, we lose a little more freedom. So you're going to have to really think about, wait, what do I do to make money? Where is my point of sale? When does someone hand me a check? And how can I shift that? So maybe I could actually provide the service for free and then upsell them later. If I mowed their front lawn for free and I do a really great job, maybe they'll like my brand so much that they'll have me do the entire house and all the shrubs and completely take care of sweeping out the driveway and everything, because my brand is reliable. This idea can apply to anything, but you have to be creative about it. Remember, everything has changed, and so you need to think about where your point of sale is or was, and actually where it is now or where it's going to be once things get rolling again. You're going to need to have new ways to reach people, to provide value to them. For instance, phone calls right now for salespeople just don't work. Everybody's working from home. So if you call an office, the voicemail is either full or completely shut off, or nobody's answering. So you have to rely on email. And guess what? Everybody's email is being inundated with thousands of emails because everybody's emailing. So where do you go? Well, what about a social media profile? What about an online presence? What about like LinkedIn? They have messaging through LinkedIn. They have messaging through Google. They have messaging through YouTube. There's messaging through Twitter. There's all kinds of ways to still reach out to people. You have to think differently about your point of sale, your point of contact, and your point of sale. So that's the idea for this video. I hope it's helpful, and I strongly encourage you to sit down and actually write out where your point of sale used to be and where you think it's going to move to next. In fact, when you do that, please comment down below in the comments. I'd love to hear any suggestions that you guys might have about different points of sale, where yours was and where you think it might be. And I'd love to be able to help if I can. If you liked this video and you think it was helpful, please give a thumbs up and definitely subscribe to the channel so that you know when new videos come out every time. All right, everybody, thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.